Gamers, I'm Jason.
I'm Julie.
And today on Dice & Dragons, we are going to be doing our first ever Kickstarter preview. And what is the name of the game that we're previewing, Julie?
Gosh Darn Bubbles.
That's right, Gosh Darn Bubbles. A big thanks to Sandwich Bag Games and the designer Sanchez Michaels for sending us a copy. Now I'm going to let Julie tell you a little bit more about the game itself.
So it's a fun, lighthearted family card game. They're plays in about 3 to 5 minutes per player. Our version, the media promo version, says 2 to 4 players. Might be able to play it in more players at a future version of the game. But yeah, it definitely takes about more along 5 minutes per person. And as for the age appropriateness, there's nothing written on this version, but I would definitely say you would want to play with somebody who can read. You might be able to explain the game to younger kids, but I think it would take a little bit of the fun away. So you definitely want some readers to play this game.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that as we discuss a little bit more about the game. So just to explain how we're going to be breaking this down with regards to our first Kickstarter preview. I'm going to be showcasing some of the cards from the game, dividing them up into the different things that they do. After that, Julie and I are going to be doing a playthrough / how to play, as I think the best way to teach the game is really by playing it. That's one nice thing about the game. The rules are fairly simple. And then after that, we'll do a little bit of, I'll be presenting the Kickstarter stretch goals. So what you can expect to see in terms of expanding the game and why you would want to support the game on Kickstarter. And then we're just going to give our nice initial thoughts of the game. Now, how does this game play? Well, what you're basically doing is you can play 1 card from your hand. Everyone starts with a maximum of 3 cards. Your goal is to acquire 3 treasures. You're going to play 1 card from your hand, and hopefully it's going to help you with regards to your goal of acquiring those treasures. And I think that's the best way to put it, quite simply, don't you, Julie?
Yep.
Now,
obviously, there's some cards in there that are going to make it easier or harder, and that's part of the fun of the game.
Yeah, don't worry.
And those gosh darn bubbles.
Those gosh darn bubbles. So, what time is it now?
It's time to grab our bubbly water.
Well, our water. This is a water-themed game that, felt appropriate.
Mine has bubbles.
We're going to grab our drink, grabbing our best friend.
We're going to take it to the table.
Take it to the table. You're definitely going to lose.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yes, it's going to happen. Stay tuned. Now we're going to take a look at the components for Gosh Darn Bubbles. Now this is what is currently available in the base game. We have a media promo kit, and there will be some new content that's going to be obviously unlocked via stretch goals. And there's even an expansion that's planned, and don't worry, we're going to talk about that a little later on in the video. Now, for those of you that do know our channel, Dice & Dragons, I always like to start with any components that I can't get on camera. So the one that I wasn't quite able to fit is the rules card. Now, the rules card for Gosh Darn Bubbles gives you a nice overview of the game, what your objectives are, and then has all the rules that you will need in order to play the game. Now, what I have done with these cards is I've just sort of split them up into groupings where they are near similar cards, and let's take a look at the different types of cards you're going to be playing in this game. Now, this is a light-hearted family style card game, but that doesn't mean that there are no Take That cards. I have placed all of the Take That cards here along the bottom, and let's start with those. So as you can see with the fair winds, each player passes their hand 1 player clockwise. Great way to change out your hands. The Jerk Face Shark lets you discard 1 card placed in front of any player. The Pirate Manta Ray, which works very similarly to the Sunken Chests, so we'll talk about how that's going to work a little later on, will let you steal a treasure from another player. The Crab Grab lets you play 1 random card from another player's hand, therefore weakening the options they have on their turn. Slap of the Bass lets you discard 1 random card from each other player's hand. The Enlightened Jellyfish lets you choose another player. That player reveals their hand, and you get to choose 1 card, so great way to steal some cards, especially ones that you want. And then, of course, the aforementioned Gosh Darn Bubbles that just get in your way because they don't do anything. Now, these cards that we have here are the cards that can be played in front of players. So another one will increase the amount of treasures that a player needs to win the game. An extra tentacle will let you increase your hand size. And the bubble sealed lock makes the Sunken Chest a lot more harder to pull off. Now, what I really like about these cards right here is these fall into what I like to call the reveal type of cards. You're going to be revealing the top card or multiple cards from the deck, and different things are going to happen. With regards to the Gold Digging Killer Whale, it lets you get more Sunken Chests into your deck, which is what you're going to need to win the game. The Selective Seahorse lets you reveal the top 2 cards of the deck and then decide to play one of them. With Significant Otters, you do reveal 3 cards from the deck. You get to pick one, but you also have to let another player pick a card. So just keep that in mind. You never know what you're going to reveal, and the player you pick might decide to get you back for something that you did. Now, the Frog Eating Frog lets you reveal the top card of the deck, play it or discard it. If you discard it, you get to play another card. Now, before we get into the Sunken Chest and the Treasure, let's take a look at the other cards that we got over here. So check out these Dolphins. It's going to let you draw 3 cards from the deck. Here is what I like to call the discard section, where the Deep Diving Kingfisher will let you discard the top card of the deck, then play the new top card of the deck. You're really not sure what you're going to get. The Best Friends Forever lets you discard your hand, draw 3 cards from the deck, then choose another player. That player chooses 1 random card from your new hand, and you play the card that they choose. The interesting thing about that is you're always going to be able to play a card, lets you sort of reset your deck, but you're still not sure what random card is going to get played. The Whirlpool lets you just really trash the deck and kind of reset the board. Each player discards their hand, then draws 2 cards from the deck. Then the Duck with an Afro is a little different. It lets you just play the top card of the deck. Almost goes in those reveal cards, but just because of the language on it, I put it there. Now, before we get into the Sunken Chest and the Treasure, I just want to highlight, you'll notice that besides these 3 stacks here, which have a lot more cards, all of these special cards only have 2 cards in the deck. Keep that in mind. It'll help you with regards to playing the game when you know what may have been played, what are people holding in their hands, and there is a viewable discard. So it gives you an idea as to where the game's going. Now, with regard to the Sunken Chest and the Treasure, well, treasure cards are points. They can never be discarded. You're trying to obtain those to win the game. And you'll be doing that by using the Sunken Chest and maybe some other cards. What you have to do with the Sunken Chest is you play it, you discard the top 3 cards of the deck as long as one of them is not a Bubbles card. You then acquire a treasure and it is placed in front of you, the player. However, don't forget things like the Jerk-Face Shark can, get rid of that treasure that you acquired. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to teach you how to play the game by doing a playthrough. Now we're doing our playthrough / how to play of Gosh Darn Bubbles. Now, everything is really zoomed in, so Julie and I are going to place our cards right about there, as close to the deck as possible. We want to make sure you got a good view of the game. Now, the way you set up the game is you just shuffle the deck of cards, you place the treasures next to the deck, and we're going to have a discard pile right here. Each player starts with 3 cards, and the player that last interacted with water is the one that's going to go first, and that'll be Julie. We're going to try and show you guys our cards. Hopefully Julie can't see mine as much as we possibly can, and let's get this show on the road.
So I'm going to start with a Sunken Chest, which means I turn 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. So I get my treasure, and I get to pick up a card.
Now, don't forget, and I am going to reveal a card to Julie, but bubbles do nothing. You really want to try to get those out of your hand. They also mess up things like the Sunken Chest. If Julie had revealed a bubble, well, she wouldn't have got her treasure. But there's other take that elements in the game, so you know what, Julie? I'm going to play another one in front of you, which means that she now needs 4 treasures to win the game. The regular rules of the game, first player to 3 treasures wins. And then I need to draw up to 3 cards. Julie neglected to mention it.
I said, and I draw my card.
Yeah, at the end of each turn, you have to draw back up to your maximum hand size. Now, there are cards that can make it 4 or even potentially 5 cards. If you have more of the cards than 3, which is the maximum hand size, you must discard down.
Okay, so I'm going to play Duck with an Afro, which means I play the top card of the deck. Oh, look at that.
Jeez.
1. Ah, gosh darn bubbles. Again.
Okay.
But then I draw a card.
Yeah. And now Julie draws back up to 3, but she did not succeed. Now I just want to take the chance to showcase the jerk-faced shark here, because you may be wondering how you get rid of things like another one or stop players from winning the game. The jerk-faced shark lets you discard one card placed in front of any player. So keep that in mind. It's a great way to give it to the other player. So now I'm going to play my Sunken Chest, reveal the top 3 cards of the deck. And I got Bubbles. And oh, I almost got the Tentacle. Now the Tentacle, for example, if played in front of another player, does let them increase their hand size by 1. But right now it's not coming into play. So I'm going to redraw up, and it's Julie's turn.
So I get to do Frog Eating Frog. So that allows me to reveal the top card, and I decide if obviously I'm going to discard it. So then I get to play the next one, which is the Sunken Chest.
Really? Jeez.
So I'm going to reveal the 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. Yay!
Oh, geez. She's already got 2 stack index there. I think you probably slid that off camera a little bit. She's already got 2 treasures. But you know what? Each player now passes their hand clockwise. So hand it over. She's not going to be very happy. Remember, try to keep him on camera there.
So Jason just gave me Bubbles. And then I can't draw up until the end of my turn, so I have to play Bubbles. And then I can draw 2 back up.
Yes. Now, I don't really love this again, so let's try to keep her from winning. So I'm going to play the Whirlpool, which means each player discards their hand and then draws 2 cards.
And you get to draw a card because it's the end of your game.
Yep.
And you allowed me to pick a Sunken Chest.
Oh, is she going to win already?
I need 4 now, remember? Bubbles and 3, and then I can pick 2 cards.
So, as you can see, a Sunken Chest is really the way you're going to be winning the game. I'm going to play the Enlightened Jellyfish so I can see Julie's cards, and I get to play one from her hand. Well, I'm going to take the Selective Seahorse, reveal the top 2 cards of the deck.
You have to put it in your hand.
No. Oh, add it to your hand. You are correct. So, that's going to go with just some commentary that you're going to see later on. There is a lot of text on the cards, so make sure you read everything.
I don't get to draw.
You do not get to draw.
The only thing I can do is play my Slap of the Bass, and that allows me to discard 1 random card from another player's hand. So I'm going to go with this one, which is the Bubble Sealed Block.
What this does is it makes it more difficult for someone when they play a Sunken Chest. They need to go through 6 cards. I don't even get to play, but I'm going to play this one. Draw the top 3 cards from the deck. 1, 2, and 3. Now I do need to discard down to my maximum hand size, so I'll get rid of the bubbles.
I'm going to play my Sunken Chest. 1. Bubbles! Gosh darn Bubbles. So I don't get it, but I draw back up to 3.
So I'm going to play the Frog Eating Frog. Going to reveal the top one, discard a random. Nope, I don't want to play that one. I'm going to look for the second one. Huh. Sorry, I actually have to play it. I guess Julie kind of wants a jerk-faced shark now to get rid of cards in front of her.
Yep. But
don't
forget to draw up.
Nope, I got to draw up.
Okay, then Sunken Chest. 1, 2, 3. So
I don't have that much room. We want to make sure everything stays on camera for everyone.
Your turn.
So I'll play the Selective Seahorse. Discard the top card of the deck, then play the let's try this one. The Deep Dive Kingfisher. So I discard the top card of the deck. And then I play the next card. And it's the Jerk-Faced Shark. Well, I don't want this playthrough to take forever, so we'll discard one of those cards in front of her. I'm being nice to my wife.
Good idea. Okay, so this one's fun. And of the ones I have, so I'm going to play one random card from another player's hand. So I'm going to pick this one. Whirlpool. So we all discard our hands and take two bubbles. Two bubbles.
Two cards.
Two cards.
I'll actually shuffle it up there.
So we'll do a quick shuffle here because they're still fairly well shuffled. Jason can pick two cards. And then I can pick a card to end my turn. And Jason can go.
So I'm not allowed to draw it, but I'm going to play the Pirate Manta Ray. So I get to reveal the top three cards of the deck. 2, 3. Oh.
And unfortunately, you did not draw a Sunken Treasure. So
No, I did not. No, that was the one that would let me take one of your treasures.
Oh.
So
No, not 4.
yeah, you're right. So the Pirate Manta Ray means I get to reveal 3 cards. And then if there are no bubbles, I can steal treasure from what's in front of another player.
So I pulled up that card that we both like. So I get now to pull up to 4 cards with my extra tentacle.
She's turning into Ursula.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to try this again. 1, 2, 3. And I do get to steal one of her treasures. I'm finally on the board.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to play the Bubble Sealed Lock on Jason.
Oh, slowing me down. Not that there's much to slow down here. Well, I'm going to play the Crab Grab to play one random card from another player's hand. Pull it, bring it forward more. I like this one. So I play the Kingfisher, discard the top card, play the next one. And it's a Whirlpool. 1, 2. Oh, we got an upside down card there.
And then you get to pick up a card to end your turn.
Yep.
But you did allow me to pick a Sunken Chest. 1.
Hey, those were your cards.
2, 3. So I still need 1 more to win the game, and I can draw up to 4 cards.
So let's play the Sunken Chest. I'm going to draw. Oh. First thing was a bubble. No good. No luck for me. Go ahead.
So Jason, I can tell you I won the game. Because
Right.
I got the jerk face shark, so I can discard this card, and I have now my 3 treasures.
And you won. So
Yay!
there you go. And that's how you play Gosh Darn Bubbles. So keep it right here. We're going to be back as we discuss some of the Kickstarter stretch goals and the expansion content that they're looking to add via this project. And then we're going to take a look at our initial thoughts on the game. Now, let's take a look at the stretch goals for Gosh Darn Bubbles. The first 9 cards do make up the Kickstarter expansion. There are also 3 special cards that are incredibly powerful that can be unlocked during the course of this campaign. So what's going to happen is I'm going to have a nice pop-up. May cover the whole screen. It's going to depend on the aspect ratio I'm able to do with some of the imaging. You might still see some of the stuff in the background, but you won't see me anymore. We're going to take a look at these cards in groups of 3, and let's get started. Now, what we have to start off are the Fast Talking Koi, the Hard Hitting Beta, and the ICU in there. I like the ICU in there. It's a reference to Finding Nemo. Now, the Fast Talking Koi can let you swap your hand with another player's. I'm not going to go over this in too much detail. I just want to talk about what they can do. The Hard Hitting Beta discards random cards from another player's hand until they only have 1 left in their hand. Ooh, that's a really mean card. Really upping that take that level, which I like. Now the ICU in there. Look at the top 3 cards of the deck. Add 1 of them to your hand. Then place the other 2 cards together or individually on the top or bottom of the deck. That's interesting because it lets you sort of give players bad cards and take good cards out of their possession. Very interesting. Now, the card that's coming up is probably my favorite card out of this expansion here, the Lock Rocker Penguin. You can play the card in front of any player. And if a player plays, well, the player that has the Lock Rocker Penguin in front of them plays a Sunken Chest and they don't get any treasure, they can discard that card to get another shot at it, which I really like. The Organized Axolotl, I think I said that right, not quite sure. You can take one treasure card, place in front of any player, then place it in front of any other player. So that's just a straight up theft card, which is pretty cool. Don't really have that yet in the game. And with the Sneaky Snake, you take another player's hand, then add it to your hand. That player draws 2 cards from the top of the deck. That could be good, could be bad, not quite sure how that'll work out, but it's definitely a way for you to stop someone from winning the game if you're sure they've got some Sunken Chests and have a fairly good shot at winning. Now, A Moment Together is very different, and I really like that card. You pick another player, you and that player take turns discarding cards from the top of the deck. Once a Sunken Chest is revealed, the player that revealed the card gets to play the Sunken Chest. A little risk versus reward. Also a great way to start cycling through the deck. Maybe even get rid of a lot of those bubbles. There's also the Kamikaze Pufferfish, and this one is very different. It almost feels like a catch-up mechanic when I'm reading the card. Each player reveals their hand. If any Sunken Chests are revealed, discard them. Probably not something you're going to want to do if you're getting Sunken Chests and you're doing well. But if you're falling behind, it's definitely a way to get rid of a lot of Sunken Chests from like that round, that stack of cards. Lastly, there is the Picky Piranha, which lets you discard any number of non-treasure cards placed in front of any player. Cool thing about that is you can use it to get rid of negative things in front of yourself, like the bubble sealed lock, or get rid of a player that maybe has an extra tentacle, a Lock Rocker Penguin, and other good stuff that's helping them out and kind of even the playing field. Next, we have the 3 very powerful cards, which is What's Crackin' Y'all? And this one is definitely cool. Reveal the top 8 cards of the deck. If any Sunken Chests are revealed, add them to your hand, then play one of them, discard any remaining cards. That can let you potentially add 3 Sunken Chests into your hand, and depending on what other players have, can give you a commanding lead or very much a good shot at winning the game by playing the card. 4 Turtles is probably my favorite out of these 3. You reveal the top 4 cards of the deck, then play each of them in the order they were revealed. Very cool. And lastly, there is Making a Splash. Discard 1 random card from each other player's hand, then discard 1 card placed in front of any player. Draw 3 cards from the deck, then play the top card of the deck. That's very cool. It lets you sort of just, as it says, make a splash, flip around the entire board state, and just change the way the game is going. Now, we've taken a look at the stretch goals. We've taken a look at the ones that are going to be part of the expansion. Let's now move on to our initial thoughts on the game. Thank you for watching, everyone. Now we're going to be giving our initial thoughts about the game. As this is a Kickstarter preview video, we're really just showcasing some aspects about the game, how to play. We're not going to be going into a full review, so we're going to have a nice little discussion, and you will probably, well, not probably, you will definitely see a review coming to the channel in the future when we finally get a full, nice retail copy of the game. So, Julie, what are your initial thoughts about Gosh Darn Bubbles?
Well, I had fun. I won the first game pretty handily.
I did enjoy your dad always. Well, you're also happened to your mom as well. We did get to play with family members. It was great. When those bubbles came up, they were like, those gosh darn bubbles. And that's why you got the name.
Yeah, and I think that's part of, it really is, as it describes, a fun, lighthearted game. So it's definitely something that I can see us pulling out at another family event. And as Jason said at the beginning, I really think probably you could play with more people. Mm-hmm. Maybe you need a little bit more treasure, or maybe that's part of the difficulty is the rarity of the treasure, and maybe you have to steal some from somebody else.
Yeah, it would definitely require more cards to facilitate play with more players, but you could definitely slide in like a 5th player, and I don't think it would disrupt the flow of the game at all with what we have in the media promo. No, so definitely this is the kind of game that my family would love to play. It's simple, it's easy to learn, it's fun, you laugh. There's still a little bit of competitiveness. I got to, steal some of Jason's cards. It was great. She often doesn't like the competitive aspect of it, and you got into the take that a little bit more than you normally do.
Well, it's because it's fun and it's in a lighthearted way, and it pretty much it's a toss up whether or not you'll get the card that allows you to do it. And so when you have it, why not? Yeah. And plus, if I'm going to steal somebody's card, do you think I'm going to steal my mom or my dad's? I'm going to steal yours.
You did steal from your dad.
Yeah, but that's because he was about to win.
Yeah, no. So what do I think about the game? And the no is because my response is you should always steal from everyone. I mean, you got to spread it out. Otherwise, everyone gangs up on you like they did to me for no reason at the start of the game.
Yeah, that's because you're normally ruthless and everybody knows it.
In any case, I did get to take this game and play with some of my gaming friends. And the response that I got from a lot of them was, it's not really a gamer's game, and that's fine. I don't think the game sets out to be that game that you're going to want to take out at game night. Now, if you're having a very family-friendly game night, or you've got some younger kids around, I think the game fits in perfectly, and it definitely succeeds at what it wants to do as being a lighthearted family game. It plays very quickly. I do think that it does take a little bit of time to get into, just with regards to a lot of the text that are on the cards. There's not a lot of iconography, and that's one of those things that is definitely good with regards to the explanations, but it can make it a little bit more challenging for younger players to sort of pick up on what each of the cards do.
And, part of me thinks, though, that the younger players will catch it quickly. I mean, there's not that many different types of cards. No. I think once they see the dolphins, once they see the shark,
you just need to teach it to them. And one of the things I think it's the only sort of commentary we'd like to see is maybe just a little bit bigger font in the retail version. But the mechanics, the way it plays, it's very easy. You get the flow of the game, and like Julie said, it's just a lot of fun in a family environment.
And listening to my friends, part of the name as well, sorry, I'm playing with your game, Sandwich Bag Games.
Well, don't worry, no one can see it because it's behind the artwork. You forgot there's digital artwork popping up. It's little bit of behind the scenes for you guys.
I don't know what the actual retail version will be like, but I can't imagine it'll be much bigger than this. And part of it is it could probably fit into a sandwich bag. At least it looks like a deck of cards. And for transportability and for a game that you could bring with you and play pretty much anywhere, I think that's something that families will appreciate. This is something that you can do easily pretty much anywhere.
Except in a car. But you could probably find a way to do it in a car as well.
But I could see this is something that, we could play at the chalet. You could play at the beach, on a picnic table. So for portability, I think for families, it makes it a lot of fun. This is definitely very easy to pull out.
And I think you really summarize what the game is set out to be. As for those of you that watched the whole video, you saw the way the cards look. It's cute. It's family friendly. One thing I do want to stress, the artwork is very well done. I do really like the art that we have on the cards, and it really gets you into the theme. And I really wasn't sure about the bubbles at first, but playing the game a few times with 4 players and having those gosh darn bubbles just foil someone's plans. How many times did your dad almost win the game but was foiled by bubbles?
Yeah, I think at the end it's darn bubbles.
Yes, and there is a high level of randomness to the game. Yep. And you can plan out your strategy a little bit, but you never know how another player just playing that card at the wrong time is going to shift the entire game around.
Oh, you definitely can't plan and hold on to cards.
No, with that being said, I think what we'll do, just as this is our first Kickstarter preview, we're going to sort of give our quick evaluation of the game. So, Julie, does this succeed at what it sets out to be?
I definitely think so. I think it is a fun, lighthearted family game, and I had fun. So, yeah, I think it's a lot of fun.
No, and I'd agree as well. This definitely succeeds at hitting the market. If this is something that you're interested in, definitely back it on Kickstarter. For those of you that just found it on our channel, please take a look down below in the video description to a link to the Kickstarter page. And also, please let us know what you thought about our first Kickstarter preview in the comments below. And if you're going to be, if you're going to be picking up a copy of the game. That being said, Julie, anything else you want to add?
No, I think that's it. I think it's time to grab our drinks.
What about, I told them to comment, but what about subscribing on our social media feeds?
Okay. Well, I didn't think you were going to be sharing anything on Instagram with this.
I'm not showing anything on Instagram, but they can find other stuff. I mean,
Yes.
little self-promotions allowed as well.
So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification button so you know when we have some new content for you.
And take a look down below in the video description. You'll find it after the link to the Kickstarter, just where you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and the aforementioned Instagram. And as Julie already said, we're grabbing our drinks,
Our bubbles.
our water and bubbles, grabbing our best friend.
We're going to keep playing games.
We're going to keep playing games. We're definitely going to keep playing this one.
And I did beat him. He said I wouldn't win, but I did beat him.